Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another morning coffee show. Yes, another morning. It is another day, another opportunity to be grateful for. And today we're starting the show with a phrase that I love. That I think, if my mind doesn't fail me, is a phrase by Les Brown that he used to say: "We are either growing or we are dying." And people start dying when your dreams start dying. And today I want to empower that dream. I want to empower that spirit that you have within you. And for that, I have an amazing guest that is coming right after the intro. You stay right there because we're about to have a lot of fun, to learn, to grow, and yes, to empower your spirit. We're coming back after the intro. Get up, baby, this morning. This is Elio Piedra. Another morning means another coffee because this is morning coffee with Elio. This is going to be a great day. We have a fantastic guest. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My guest today is the great Jaisen Hurst, an amazing business professional, a savvy entrepreneur. It is a great asset in our Gainesville community, our business community, but also he and his amazing and wonderful wife, they own one of the fastest growing companies, a part of the franchise, part of the Maple Street Biscuit Company here in Gainesville, Florida. They have two amazing locations. And they are still growing a lot in times of COVID-19. And we're going to be talking about a lot about that because it is super important to keep growing in these times. Let's welcome to Morning Coffee with Elio, the great Jaisen Hurst. How you doing, brother?
Oh, man, I almost didn't know who you were introducing. I was like, who's coming on? Good, always good to share time with you, man. I love your positive energy, man. So there's certain, like I told you, there's certain people that I will just drop everything because you're just such a breath of fresh air, and I appreciate being here, man.
Oh man, it is my pleasure. It is the same. The feeling is mutual. I love being around what we call here, and this Les Brown call OQP. Only
Yeah.
quality people, people that they wanna keep moving towards their dreams and their goals. And I really want to talk about growing, and the idea of keep growing in times of COVID-19. I am obsessed with
Yeah.
that because I know Jaisen, and you know this actually. So you are super involved with the business, with our business community. We're gonna share all your social media here today, and we're gonna share how people can find you, can follow you and your company, because it's super important. You that are watching to be surrounded by people that they still believe that no matter, I mean, regardless of the situation, you can still grow in many different ways. But let's talk. Let's go back to the very beginning because I know you come from Chicago. You're at Chicagoland.
Yeah, that's right.
so all right. Let's talk about you coming from Chicago. Why Gainesville?
Yeah. So my path to Gainesville was a little bit diverted. So I've been in Florida since 1999. I went to Florida A&M University to study business at the College of the School of Business and Industry at Florida A&M back in 1999. I graduated from there in 2005. I thought I was going to be the next Wall Street guru. I thought I was going to be Mr. Wonderful from from Shark Tank. So I went to go work as an analyst in a private bank with J.P. Morgan for about a year, and it absolutely burnt me out. Love
Wow.
New York, of course. I mean, how can you hate New York? But the industry burned me out. In retrospect, it's probably one of the best decisions I made because just a few short months later, the market crashed and the Great Recession was underway. So I took a pharmaceutical sales job here in Gainesville with one of the leading industry uh, one of the leading people in the industry, and that's Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, and kind of spread my wings here. Got involved with the community, got involved with an awesome church who I'm still a part of, ironically, back in 2008. And then the Great Recession deepened and it pulled the rug from under me. So I had two things I could do. I can try to use my MBA and go after jobs that just weren't there, or I can use my MBA and become an entrepreneur. So I chose the latter of those two paths. I started a maintenance company. We did government contracting for building maintenance all throughout the state of Florida. Grew that to a couple of large contracts throughout the state with the Florida government, Verizon, Walmart, Target, just a bunch of big accounts. I was very fortunate to grow that. But I knew that, when the real estate market bounced back, I saw the inner workings of real estate, just being a property owner and being a rental property owner. I saw that I wanted to do something as a career in the real estate field. So I said, when that bounces back, I'm gonna jump into it. So I jumped into real estate. My plan was to go commercial. My mentor's plan was to push me into residential to get my feet wet. So I followed that. I'm big on the old adage that follow those through faith and patience who have inherited the promises. So this gentleman had inherited a lot of promises. So I went ahead and followed his path. And then found out very quickly residential wasn't for me, and ran into a couple of people at a football game and started in commercial real estate at that time with Front Street Commercial Real Estate Group, and served there faithfully for about 4.5 years. They were acquired by Avison Young, a national firm. Served there for about a year, and now I'm with Colliers International. And during that time, I met my Maple Street family. They were clients of mine. We helped broker a deal in Tallahassee, helped broker a deal for them in Gainesville. And I said, I want to broker a deal for myself. So
Exactly.
I got involved with them at Maple Street Biscuit Company and became one of their first franchisees. So a lot of inner workings, but Gainesville is my home. It's where I've spread my roots at. My kids are here. I met my wife here. And it's home for me, and I absolutely love the city.
That is wonderful. Wow, what an amazing journey in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I had to condense it. There's a lot of twists and turns there, but I don't know we're going to be pressed for time if we just keep on that story.
Yes. So what do you think, you going through a lot of different,
Yeah.
decisions and stages in your life as a business professional, what do you think was the toughest decision that you have to make? You say, I want to, that, when your mind is telling you something, but your heart is asking you to go in a different direction. Can you think about at least one, the toughest decision?
Oh, there's so many. So I have not worked a job where I've been on a salary for several years now. So that in and of itself is a tough decision, especially now I've added a wife to the mix. I've added kids to the mix. I've never been scared to try it. I've never been scared to fail. I've done everything from lost multiple homes. I've had my car repossessed. I've been on the brink of bankruptcy. Thankfully, have not had to file for bankruptcy, but I've never been afraid to get back up. There's an old adage that says, old proverb that says, fall 7 times, but get up 8. That is my lifestyle in a nutshell. And thankfully, I've made a lot more. Anytime you're an entrepreneur, there's a level of risk, but I've made a lot more educated risks recently. So Maple Street was a little bit more of a non-educated risk in that I had to raise $1 million to open up both stores. It's something that my wife and I had never been in the food industry before. We've eaten a lot of food. That's the only experience we had. But that was probably the biggest leap of faith. We were listening to a lesson in our church called Beyond E320, and it's based on this book in the Bible called Ephesians. And there's a verse that is Ephesians 3:20 that says, "Now unto him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly above anything you can ask or think." And our pastor at that time challenged us to do something exceedingly abundantly above anything we can ask or think or had the means to do. And Maple Street, for me at that time, was something that was above my means, something I had never done. But I knew that if I wanted to give I wanted to give God an opportunity to fill a bigger basket. I've always done stuff that was in my means to do, but this was something that was not in my means to do. So I was going to dream big, essentially, and step out on something that I wanted to do years ago. Years ago, I wanted to be a franchise owner, even in high school when I was in DECA and all these other business organizations in high school. I had put together, as part of a competition, an idea to put together a restaurant in my grandma's honor called Lottie Mae's Soul Food Cafe. Don't use that because I might still use that. But
Yes,
life happens, and
yes, I
you
know.
kind of get away from some of the dreams that you had. I like to call it childlike faith, because when you're a child, you can dream for anything. You want to do anything. You want to accomplish everything all at once. But you kind
Yeah,
of lose that when you run into foreclosures, when you run into marriage, when you run into having to make sure that the lights are on and the bills are paid. You kind of forget those kind of childlike dreams. So for me, it was something I was going to go back to, that childlike faith, and really step out on something that was bigger than me, and I didn't have the means to do. And it was cool just seeing how when I stepped out, all of those things started coming into place. Investors came, the knowledge came, the relationships came, and really the people showed up when we opened the doors. So that was really cool.
that is awesome. That's why I love listening to you, because you are mentioning three things that I think they are super important for people to understand. Well, number one, you're mentioning purpose. All right, you just mentioned
Yeah,
that you found a purpose that was bigger than yourself,
yeah,
and people, they don't. I don't know if they realize how important is that to have that in your life,
yeah,
to know your reasons, your whys, to know why you need to keep your head up no matter
yeah,
what. And also another thing actually that is super important, that is that you start dreaming when you were very young,
yeah,
and you wanted to accomplish one of those dreams at some point anyhow. Okay, so I'm mentioning this because you guys are probably one of the most active companies on social media with our business community, with our community in general, supporting different causes, supporting in many different ways, social media marketing, with food.
yeah.
You guys actually had recently finished like a wonderful cause for, help me with that, but it was about,
Biscuits for Heroes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. That was for the first responders, right?
Yeah, that's for
Oh,
first responders, and also healthcare workers. It was a program that we did to allow people. A lot of people approached us, wanting to do something for the first responders and for the healthcare community. At the same time, they wanted to support us and keep us in business during COVID-19. So we were killing two birds with one stone. So we were a conduit for people to help us, but we were also helping others in the process.
thank you for saying that, because that's my third point. When you help others to reach their goals, you achieved yours. That's awesome,
Yeah,
man. That's
yeah,
why, and that's actually I was following your cause and everything that you do on your social media, and that's why I wanted to brought that up, because that was amazing what you guys did to keep supporting the community and actually
yeah,
keep your brand, out there during this time. Now, touching base on leadership, it's been said that you don't get in life what you want, and obviously you already said
yeah,
that. you get in
yeah,
life you get in life what you are. I actually
yeah.
I heard Les Brown saying that, said that an amazing conference. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are, and you are an expert on that. You are constantly working on yourself. You actually, I already mentioned that. I think behind scenes, you are a great asset for our community. You are always constantly moving and supporting leadership programs
Yeah.
and events and conference. So talk to me a little bit about this, about working on yourself as a business
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah, that's something that's really passionate about me. Like you said earlier, anything that's not growing is dying. So if you're not pouring into yourself, you're on a path downward, unfortunately. We're always looking for opportunities to be serving. We're always serving. As a matter of fact, one thing I did not mention is the only reason there's a why behind. There has to be a why behind everything that you do. And my why behind Maple Street was when I heard their mission statement, it was pretty much the tagline for me and my wife. So their mission statement is to help people, serve others, and be a part of the community. does not mention food at all, does not mention a restaurant at all. They are a conduit to be a light in dark situations. And that's why when we were in COVID-19, we were just like, we saw that as an opportunity. Even though our doors were closed, even though we were restricted to what we could do, we knew that by helping people, serving others, and be a part of the community, that the community would respond and that we will be fulfilling what our mission was. And now, when we look at it on the other side of COVID-19, we're up 30% year over year. And I don't say that as a braggadocious, but I do say that to say that when you help people and help others and you help out in your community will respond. So we're always looking at ways to become better servants. I'm a big proponent for servant leadership, and I apply that to my commercial real estate career as well. One of the biggest things that stood out to me when I first started commercial real estate, and I used to go to these conferences all the time, and I was just like, there is just not a lot of African American and Black people that look like me at these conferences. What is the deal? Like, what is it? Is it a problem? Is it just these conferences that I'm going to? And come to find out, the industry is probably the commercial real estate industry is the least most diverse industry in all of industries that we track. Less than 2% of people in my role are African American, minority, women, you name it. Any minority, you name it. There's only less than 2% in our industry. So that became my why. So it wasn't about me performing well so I could take care of my home. It was about me performing well so I can open up doors for other people that look like me, or other people that were disenfranchised, or other people that may have not even heard about commercial real estate. I hadn't even heard about commercial real estate until I was 35 years old, 34 years old. So imagine how many people out there are going along in life not even knowing this industry exists or don't know what they want to go to. But this is for every bit of my calling. So I'm always pouring into myself to become a better commercial real estate agent, not just for me to excel with the firm that I'm with, but for me to open the door for other people. So whenever you identify your why just can't be about you. Your why has to be about what you can do for others, and the universe responds to that. It's an old principle that whatever you sow, you shall also reap.
I am getting fired off. That is awesome, brother. I love it, man. I love it so much. So, Jason, man, why do you think that that's it's so only few people, only 2%? Why do you think people? I don't know what is the reason. Tell me,
Yeah.
because right now you are telling me that Afro Americans and also women you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
At the
Yeah. Women, Hispanics, Asians. Yeah. Just a completely
So,
disenfranchised industry.
do you think? I mean, anything comes to your mind that any reason why that's
Yeah, I
happening?
don't think it's anything other than lack of exposure.
Yeah,
I gave a talk recently with the chamber, and one of the things I pointed out is that if you look around in your circle and everybody in your circle looks like you, there's a problem. I mean, diversity is important for a couple of things. Diversity is
yeah,
important because it gives you a more expansive look at life, a more encompassing look at life. It gives you gives you additional perspectives on how to make decisions. Your decisions that you make as a business, we were finding out more and more. I mean, the Hispanic population is growing. The African American population is growing as a subsegment of the American population. So as these subsegments grow, they also have buying power, and they also are making decisions with their dollars. So the more that you can have an encompassing look at what you're doing from a business standpoint and addressing these subsects of our community, you can thrive. It's a way to grow your business and your bottom line. Not that everything's about business, but diversity it matters. All lives matter. And I know we've been talking a lot about Black Lives Matter. Until Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Until Hispanic lives matter, all lives matter. There's different parts and different times where we'll have to address these different areas. But in this industry, it's minority lives matter.
yeah.
It's really about where we're recruiting, where our recruiting sources are, who we're having golf and having lunch with. And really, it's going to take an intentional look at the way we're doing business. Because if you're just getting referrals from your friends and your golf buddies and your people that you play racquetball with, and things of that nature, if you're going to the same sources, you're going to get the same people, and it's going to continue to push down the minority voice in the room, which I've identified that we want it in the room and that it's important to have it in the room, but you have to be intentional about it. So it's really just a lack of intentionality. And I think that over time, it's not going to be overnight. But the more we're aware of it, and the more we think about it and make it part of our thought process, we can really see some change.
Awesome. And I would love to expand a little more on this point, how to actually grow your network, how to
Yeah.
grow and to, I will say, diversify
Yeah.
those around you. And I like that you mentioned being intentional about who are you having lunch with, who are you spending your time with. I actually, a couple shows ago, I mentioned something that, and actually I mentioned something that Miles Monroe, by the way, said. Time is the only thing or one of the things that human beings have in common. Time is life. And whatever you do with your time is going to determine who you're going to become because of that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you just said.
That's good.
Who are you spending the time? Are you seeking to grow? You know, what is this person is helping you spiritually, emotionally, business wise? He's just a good friend. He's a good listener. But what is it good about this person? What is this person adding to your play, to your life in general?
Right.
And now I want to talk about your journey as I want to expand more about your journey as an entrepreneur. You are constantly posting stuff, very good content, guys, on LinkedIn. If you want to find Jaisen Hurst, what is your profile on LinkedIn? If you could name it.
It's Jaisen Hurst on LinkedIn. Jaisen Hurst.
Oh, just your name. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you are constantly sharing content about companies from different industries.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't realize what you just said, that you need to find those persons that they are gonna help you to go to the next level. And when you say intentional, that's key. I think that's key element, to
Yeah.
be intentional about it. If you are Les Brown, by the way, he said, if you are casual about your dreams, you're going to end up a
Yeah.
casualty.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned intentionality. If everybody just went along with, hey, you like football? I like football. Okay, let's hang out. If we just were just going by hanging out with people that we have in common with, we would never expand our circles and expand out of our circles. So, yes, I'm not the hugest golf fan, but I've learned how to play golf. There's certain shows that I would probably never watch for the sake of being able to have something to talk about. I tune in. I may not like it, but I tune in. And then I hang out in places and get a part of organizations that I otherwise wouldn't have even thought to be a part of, just so I can be in those circles and really understand. Because if there's ever going to be a wealth transference or an economic gap is ever going to be bridged, obviously you can't just hang out with the people that are in your circles. There has to be some kind of relationships being built to really intersect and really go across those lines. I would never be in business if I never crossed those lines. Both of my partners are old white males who I just happen to meet through relationships. My investors, Hispanic guy. I got investors. I got bankers who are young white guys. I mean, if you never make those connections and never build those relationships, you'll never intersect across the lines of the economic gap and wealth transfer.
Awesome. And now that you're mentioning like all the different cultures and all the different, we'll say people from different countries. This problem that we're having right now, this social, I would say like it's a social global,
Yeah.
crisis, all right?
Yeah.
About race, about social issues. Do you think at some point what is happening right now is going to affect the economy, especially in this country?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to affect the economy, and depending on what side of the track you're on in the debate, it could be negatively, it could be positively. As a matter of fact, our restaurant, I said earlier that our restaurants are up 30% year over year. I think part of that too is people have been really looking to, I don't know, call it black sympathy, call it just wanting to support, call it whatever you want to call it. People are wanting to support black businesses right now, and it could just be a phase. I hope not, but they're really looking to support people outside of what their social norms have been. Conversely, people are wanting to disenfranchise and not work with people who are not encompassing of all people, and not encompassing of all races, encompassing of all whatever your gender equality, whatever the subject may be. If you're not encompassing of all people, people are starting to speak with their dollars. You
Yes.
mentioned will it affect the economy? You look at CrossFit. They had the CEO had made some comments that were very insensitive to the time, and a lot of gyms pulled out of being CrossFit owners to the point where the CEO stepped down and they had to replace him. Some time back, some Papa John's had made some insensitive comments, and a lot of the franchisees uh, they basically banded together and put John out of the office from the company that he started.
Wow.
So time is over for just being on the fence, and time is over for people who have hatred and bigotry and all these other disenfranchising thoughts in their heart. It's been a process of 400 plus years for African Americans and other cultures who have been here for a long time. It's been on their hearts, and it's been taboo, but it's not taboo anymore. And people are starting to speak with their dollars, because dollars, whether you spend them or you take them away, they move things. So I think, yes, it's definitely going to have an effect on the economy.
Awesome. How do you see the let's talk about our local economy here in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah,
In case you are watching, guys, this is Gator Nation, all right? So go Gators.
yeah.
That's why
Go
I
Gators.
actually wearing my orange.
Go Gators.
So how do you see our local economy? Let's say in the next, well, let's say the next 6 months are actually the
Yeah.
almost the rest of the year. So for the rest of this year, what do you think is going to happen? I know it's a super tough question because
Yeah.
nobody can say what is going to happen, but do you guys as a company always have like a plan B, like a strategy, a different strategy,
Yeah.
different direction to take?
Yeah, I'll speak on two sides of the coin because I'm in my business is all about restaurants and real estate. So from the restaurant standpoint, this has probably been the most unpredictable time that I've ever seen. Period. Not just for restaurants from an ownership standpoint, but restaurants from a real estate standpoint. We just can't predict it. I heard a statistic that restaurants were down over COVID at the height of COVID, and we're probably reaching those heights again, unfortunately. But at the height of the last 3 months, restaurants were down 60 to 80%. Thankfully, we weren't down as much. We had to adapt. We really listened to the community. At one point, we completely transformed our restaurant into a pantry, more so than even a biscuit restaurant, and we were selling more toilet paper than biscuits at one point. So we really adapted by listening to the community and the community's needs. But so we were down, but not as pronounced as some of the other restaurants. And then that stat went on to say that 40%, 47% of restaurants will not reopen or will close before the end of the year. So it's very scary times. We've seen recent spikes at the time of this recording in the COVID cases, so we don't know if we're going to get closed down again. So it's really hard to say from a restaurant standpoint where we're headed. Thankfully, we're back to normal and a little bit above normal. Thankfully, but we don't. We're taking it with a grain of salt. We're staying extremely humble because that rug can be pulled from us at any moment again. From a real estate standpoint, um, we haven't seen the vacancy rates spike the way we thought we have spiked. They would spike. I think that's largely due to a lot of the government subsidies and the PPP program, which has provided 2.5 months worth of payroll and utilities and rent uh, abatement for a lot of these businesses to be able to cover those expenses. But that money is starting to roll off the books, unfortunately. So I think that come September or October, we'll start to see vacancies spike. As a matter of fact, we're already getting phone calls in the office for people who are thinking about selling, and people who are saying, "Hey, watch this tenant because we don't know if they're going to make it. We may need to find a replacement." So very very scary times. To be honest with you, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a tinge of fear. But like you said earlier, you got to see the opportunity in the dark spot and figure out where you have to be to shine a light. And we're starting to be a lot more, from a real estate standpoint, a lot more advisory instead of transactional. We're trying to make a buck off of a listing. We're starting to be a lot more taking the advisory role and talking about property management, talking about lease administration, talking about all these ancillary services.
So you can answer both questions
Yeah, that's right.
in case. But you know what? You something that I really like is when you say, yeah, I mean we were down, but not that bad. Just stay positive, and you realize that yes, we went down on sales, but we are here. A
Yeah,
lot of people, including big, huge corporations, they had to close doors because they made a decision of not adapting themselves.
yeah,
Well, actually, Starbucks has been losing a lot of money,
yeah,
we've been watching that. And also, I want to mention something that is super important that you just said. They've been making a lot of comments that makes the international community uncomfortable
yeah,
in the midst of this crisis with social issues. And you are totally right when you said it is time to start thinking more about community, about getting together, about acceptance, about tolerance, about compassion, and
yeah,
all these things that bring the community together. When I mean the community, I mean countries, I mean the world, I mean everybody, you know. And
yeah,
and I really hope that our business community is watching this show and is getting a lot of different ideas and getting motivated to keep going and keep working on themselves and on different strategies.
yeah,
And you are just a remarkable man, brother. I just wanted to tell you that. And it's been said that behind every single human being that is special, is a wonderful human being, especially a
yeah.
man, there is a woman.
Yes,
and I
yes,
gotta mention, I wanna say hello to your wonderful wife.
yeah,
She's always, fighting by your side and
yeah.
with the company. And I wanna see if me as a Cuban guy I can pronounce her name well. Let me say, you gotta bear with me because this Cuban accent is killing me. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Don't be offended.
Edwina.
You nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it, man.
I know, bro. Yes, Edwina.
That's
Hugs and
awesome.
blessings to you.
Yeah,
I've been practicing. It was a surprise. So,
yeah,
this is the beauty of when you have like a family-owned business in your
yeah,
community. The purpose is different.
yeah.
The whys is different. The reason
Absolutely.
is different. And it's been said that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. You
Yeah,
know, and when you have businesses like yours, I mean, we need more of that. To be
yeah,
honest, we need more people like you that they are striving for leadership, for contributing more. I was amazed when I saw your post about selling paper. That was funny, but at the same time, it was a great idea for a lot of different businesses selling
yeah,
paper towel. You had a lot of different stuff. I don't know if you were
yeah,
selling it, but I saw that on the picture. So I was like, this is genius, Jason. This is genius. You had
yeah,
so many stuff, and that kept your brand, relevant all the way long. And at the
yeah,
same time, you keep inspiring people
yeah,
and motivating different business owners. Because I gotta tell you, Jason, a lot of people I used to friends that they are fired up all the time, and then I call them, hey, how you doing? Checking on you, man. I don't know. This is just. And I was like, what is going on? This is, you know what I mean?
yeah,
This is the time to be up and to bring that energy level up, because at the end of the day, the decision that you make today, you are going to see the results tomorrow.
yeah,
And then you make the decision to stay down, to stay, you're going to be there tomorrow. You need
yeah,
to, at some point within you, and probably this is something really important. It doesn't mean that it's somebody that is watching that actually had to close. I am no, we are not judging
yeah.
anybody. Actually, we're trying to help
No,
and
absolutely
motivate,
not.
and motivate. If you had to close, probably that was the best decision for you, and you're gonna see good results tomorrow, because
Yeah,
everybody is different. Every
right.
single situation, it is totally different. But I mean, your company, Maple Street Biscuit. For me, it was like a great example of keep striving for success
Yeah,
in the middle of the worst crisis ever in the
yeah,
history of economy, because we had the recession, We have the one that was in 1954. The other day I was talking with somebody about that. But this one, it is insane. And then happened with the what happened with the stock market, and then this pandemic is
Yeah.
still having struggles. So I am very happy that have the opportunity to have you here on the show today, and motivate some people, give ideas, and I promise to share your social media, so how people can find you in case they wanna consult with you in case they wanna they need a real estate agent help or anything, how people can reach out on social media to you.
Yep. So I'm on Instagram at the Jason J Hurst. On Instagram, on Facebook at Jason Hurst. If you want to talk about Maple Street, Jason.Hurst at Maple Street Biscuits with an S.com. And then if you want to talk real estate, Jason.Hurst at Colliers, COLLIERS.com. And then real quick, I have to say something about my wife, because she is a complete
Yes,
blessing to me. And I would be remiss if I got off of this and did not
please.
say, it does matter who you marry. Let me say that again. It does matter who you marry, because that woman or that man is going to be the incubator of your vision. And if you guys are not compatible on the same page about where you want to go in life, it could completely destroy you. But if you're moving in step and walking in step, it's not just a 1+1=2 thing. It's a 1+1=1,000, because they will multiply whatever you have in your heart. And my wife has done just that. So I wish I could say that my energy came just from me, but she's always lifted up my arms and has my back, and I love her. I love her dearly. So
Okay,
I had
okay.
to say that.
I want you to repeat that all by yourself on camera right here, if you don't mind. I want you to repeat all that. Let me hear that once again. That was so awesome, man.
Yeah, no, it does matter who you marry, because they're going to be an incubator for your vision. They're not just going to incubate your kids, your big head kids. They're going to incubate your vision, and it's not a 1+1=2 thing. You guys can accomplish a lot more together. It's a 1+1=1,000. They're going to multiply whatever's in your heart. So
Awesome. Well, now you got to do some inventory in your life now. Oh, Jason said this. Let me see who I am going to marry.
yeah,
Somebody that is getting married tomorrow. Imagine somebody that is getting married tomorrow watching this show now. Now. Jason, I am blessed, brother. I feel blessed by having you here. Learning and growing with your ideas, with your with you preach by example. You're a role model for the business community, and again, that's why for me it was so important to have you here, at least for a couple of minutes. And actually, I always have fun with you, and I always learn and get inspired when I'm surrounded by leaders like you, because you're a leader. You've been learning, and you've been through a lot and growing, and still in the middle of all of this insane crisis that we don't know what is gonna happen, and we don't know where it's gonna take us. But something I can assure is that we are gonna win. Is
yeah,
that right?
absolutely,
we
absolutely, my
we are
friend.
gonna win, man. There is no space for failure. Because I was sharing the other day that you are a winner. You are still a winner if you don't quit. It's just a matter of being there. Keep fighting. Don't quit. Don't give up. And holding on to your whys and your reasons. That at the end of the day, they are gonna help you to keep your head up in times
Absolutely.
like this. So, brother, thank you very much. And once again, hello to your wonderful family. And you that are watching, make sure that you follow Jason and support your local business. Support your local, your business community. It doesn't matter if you're in Gator Nation, you're in London, wherever you are. Do the best that you can with what you have, wherever you are, and never be satisfied. Share, like Maple Street Biscuit in Gainesville. They have two locations. One location, the direction of the two locations.
Yeah, Butler Plaza and Tioga Town Center. Maple Street Butler Plaza on Instagram. Maple Street Tioga on Instagram as well.
Yes, follow them, like them, leave a comment on Instagram, help them to get to the next level. Social media marketing is a huge moment for social media marketing. And I'm telling you, you help others to reach their goals, you reach yours. Thank you, brother, so much. And
Thank you, man.
I hope to see you soon. After this pandemic, I can give you a hug.
All right, that sounds good, man. Make sure you wash your hands.
I will. I will. Hey guys, it's been a pleasure. This is Elio Piedra. Another morning coffee with Elio. Stay blessed, stay tuned, and live full. We're gonna see you guys next time. Guys, thank you very much for watching Morning Coffee with Elio. Yes, we're really looking forward to seeing you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook and become part of the Morning Coffee with Elio community. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and live full.